So today I decided to just read some of the stories I came across. Reddit, uh, people come across these stories in real life all the time. And this is just some kind of online print to things that happen every time, but we just don't perceive them. By the Irner hero, and I say Irner because it ends with an R, Nadine underscore. The title: My mother destroyed our entire house over nothing. My mother is a very angry person. She would have these episodes where she would get so angry at my dad, she will destroy everything in the house. This will happen every week. And when I say everything, I mean everything. The TV, the microwave, cups and plates. She would take a knife and cut up the couches. She would also threaten my dad with a knife and even cut the tires of his car. It sounded like a war was going on every night. It happened all throughout my childhood. As I got older, I assumed that my dad cheated on my mother every night. He would come home very late from work. I just found out today that not only was my dad never cheated on her, but he would always call my mom and let her know that he was at work. She even said she could hear all the people at my dad's meetings, so she knew he was 100% telling the truth. Yet she would cause all the destruction anyway. The thing that made me hysterical was that fact that I remember her bringing men a couple times into my dad's house and sleeping with them. What a sick joke. Obviously, this would inevitably lead to a divorce, and I always figured my dad initiated it. But to my surprise, it was my mom who did. Keep in mind, my dad is a very hardworking man. For the very few moments that we were all together and my parents weren't trying to kill each other, only just my mom, we actually enjoyed good family time, but of course, that didn't last long. Anyway, my mom's friends started convincing her that she needs to divorce my dad, on which she brought it up to my dad. He said that it's best they fight through this together. He wanted to keep his family intact. In the end, the divorce went through. After this, my mom would always say terrible things about my dad. Honestly, all the stuff she would say about him would get on my nerves, but by far the worst was when she would say, "Why do you think your dad suddenly has less money since we weren't together anymore? It's because God blessed him so he could take care of me. Now that he doesn't have me, he has no money." What the flip? She would say this so often. She's very religious. Nothing wrong with being religious, but for her, it made her so self-centered and narcissistic. She basically thinks she's closer to the God than anyone else in the family. Stuff like this would come out of her mouth years after the split. Here's the kicker though. My mom still lives in my dad's old house. She can't afford to get her own place. My dad lets her live there with me and my brother out of the kindness of his heart. So not only does she only have a roof over her head because my dad is a kind man, but she also does make enough money to buy food for the whole month. By the time the 20th of the month hits, we have nothing to eat in the house. So how exactly is my dad living? Remember my mom said that God only blessed my dad with money because of her? Well, my dad was struggling with money because he wanted to buy a bigger house for his new wife and daughter. The place is lovely. Seems to me like God did in fact bless my dad. It won't make sense since my mom tends to be a horrible person. My mom threw away such a good life. That new house would have been for her. But she spent her life blaming other people instead of dealing with her problems. She's also the type of instantly say that someone is possessed by demons when they make the smallest mistake. I find it so interesting that the person most likely to have actual demons living inside her is the first person to point at other people and claim they have demons. Anyway, I think she definitely realizes that she made the biggest mistake of her life. It only took 8 years. The reason why I can tell this is because she's become far more religious lately. See, she's always believed in demons, like I mentioned, but she also believes that those demons are attacking her in her life. It's not just the demons, though. She also believes that people are doing some witchcraft or whatever on her at work. Every time she has a bad dream, she thinks it's a sign from God or something. So whatever she has a nightmare, she always gets more paranoid. Anyway, she's been trying to fight back and she keeps bringing people to pray in the house and splash water everywhere. I'm assuming water that has been prayed for. She has a baby with her boyfriend, my little brother. Anyway, he got sick recently, and she, for some reason, instantly thought it was a demonic attack or witchcraft attack. She came home with a container full of water, so I asked what it was for. I could tell she didn't like me asking. She said it was water that had been prayed for. It was for the baby. I told her it wouldn't work because she was not telling the truth. It was likely some type of water that someone said would heal the baby. She lied because she knew I would disapprove because it goes against Christian beliefs. I know she lied because when the baby eventually went to the hospital, he got better fast. When I went to visit them, she said if she had the water there, the doctors would have used it. So now it's medicinal water. She's also been burning some type of plant in the house every night. It got to my nerves, so I told her it wouldn't work. I could tell she felt a bit embarrassed because she laughed and agreed. Not only did she not stop burning it, but she would also make the baby inhale it while he was sick. When I told her this was a terrible idea, she lied and said she used to do the same to me when I was a baby, and I turned out fine. She literally discovered the plant recently. I can put into words how much resentment I feel towards her. She was also abusive to me and my brother, telling us that we had demons. Every time I will make a small honest mistake, she would tell me how stupid and useless I was. When I would do homework with her, she would slap me every time I made a mistake. I would always hear her telling family members that I was stupid and couldn't use my brain like normal kids. I remember I was drawing in the sand once and she shouted at me because the symbol I was drawing might be demonic. This was a bit long, but I just wanted to vent. The worst part is that she hasn't really changed at all. It's sad because if she just looked in the mirror, she could make her life better. It seems that won't happen though.